1. Install cylinder liner and crankshaft. 1. Clean the outer surface of the cylinder liner pressed into the body. 2. Turn over the engine. Install valve tappet. When installation, applied oil to the surface. Note that when installing the tappet, which should ensure that installation hole at the tilt's angle of 45 to 60 degrees. It is slow descent state. Clamping stagnation is not allowed. 3. Install the upper tile of main shaft tile in the original mounting hole. Apply the cleaning oil on the inner surface. 4. Installing the thrust plate of crankshaft. Before installation, it should ensure the all-finished surface of crankshaft must be clean. Note that when installing the thrust plate with oil groove side, should be face to side of crankshaft. 5. Install rear end main shaft bearing cover. When installation main shaft bush, the main bearing cover bush with locating slot and the locating slot of the original mounting hole of the crankshaft should be install the same side. Install other main bearing covers in turn. When locked, the main bearing cover should be divided, symmetrical, even tightening. Note, the bolts of main bearing cover tightening torque is 115 to 130 Nm. After tightening a cope of bolts, it should turn the crankshaft. Check the crankshaft if turning freely. 2. Install the piston connecting rod assembly. 1. Install the piston ring in place with special tools. The piston ring in the ring slot should be turned freely and no clamping stagnation. Note the open mouth of oil ring should be staggered 180 degrees with the oil ring spring joint. The air ring which print manufacturers Lovol side toward to the top of the piston. The opening direction of the two air rings should be staggered 180 degrees after assembly. The angle of each ring, relative to the center of pinhole, is more than 45 degrees. 2. Install one side of piston pin circlip. When installing piston pin, heat the piston to 100 to 120 centigrade with special equipment. You can also put the piston in boiling water for 10 to 15 minutes. At the same time, apply the oil to the piston surface. Install the piston pin to piston. When the piston is cold, don't press pin into piston. When install the piston pin, avoid to hot scald. 3. Notice: when install the piston, the positioning slot in the big end hole of the connecting rod should be the same direction with combustion on the piston top. The connecting rod should rotate flexibly. Install the circlip of other piston side. 4. Before install the piston connecting rod into the cylinder liner, adjustment the open position of piston ring. Apply the cleaning oil on the piston ring. Ensure the pit on the top of piston. On the high-pressure injection pump, pay the attention before installation. The cylinder liner inner surface should be clean, and apply the cleaning oil. Ensure the whole of tile cover and shaft tile surface should be clean and no other items, and apply the cleaning oil to the inner surface. Otherwise, it should affect the life of parts and life of engine. 5. Please pay attention. Please using special tools, install the piston connecting rod assembly in place. Otherwise, it should make a serious damage to piston ring assembly. 6. Install connecting rod tile and connecting rod cover to connecting rod body. When installation, please pay attention to tile of connecting rod cover. Ensure position slot and the position slot of connecting rod tile in the same side shall not be installed backwards. 7. Please pay attention. The matching numbers on the connecting rod body and cover, when installation should be the same side, shall not be installed backwards. 8. Fastening connecting rod bolts should be tightened in turn. Tightening torque is 80 to 90 Nm. After tightening, the crankshaft will turn flexibly, nor have clamping stagnation. 3. Install timing housing and transmission assembly. 1. Install idle gear shaft, gasket of timing housing. Timing housing. 2. Install camshaft assembly. Before installation, it should ensure the all-finished surface should be clean and nor scratch, and apply clean oil to. 3. Install the fuel injection pump and gear, and apply clean oil to the joint surface of gear. 4. Install the idle gear. Please pay attention when install idle gear. The mark on the idle gear should be alignment to 3 timing mark. Fuel injection pump gear, camshaft gear, crankshaft timing gear, corresponding mark position respectively. Tightening bolts. The tightening torque of idle gear is 50 to 60 Nm. Rotate the crankshaft to enable the gear train to turn flexibly, nor have clamping stagnation, nor have other items. 5. Install hydraulic pump transmission parts. Timing housing washer. Timing housing cover. 6. Install crankshaft belt pulley. The tightening torque of start claw is 160 to 170 Nm. 7. Install oil pump assembly. Before installation, the oil pump, rate the oil pump shaft, should be turned freely, and nor clamping stagnation. 8. Install oil sump washer. Install oil sump. Tightening bolts in turn. 9. Install flywheel washer. Apply the clean oil to the shaft neck of crankshaft rear end, so that install oil seal. Install flywheel housing. 10. Install flywheel bolts of flywheel. The tightening torque is 60 to 70 Nm. Rotate the crankshaft shall be flexibly, not allow have clamping stabation. 4. Install the cylinder head assembly. 1. Turn over the engine. Install the cylinder head washer. When installation, should confirm direction of cylinder head washer. Shall not be installed backwards. Please pay attention, there are 2 position bush on the engine body. When install cylinder head assembly, if no have the lift equipment, needs 2 people working together lift it and install in place. Avoid scratching parts and injure the operator. 2. Put the bolts of cylinder head in place from the middle start, according to the diagram sequence, tightening in 3 times successive. The last tightening torque is 180 to 190 Nm. Install valve push rod. 3. Install rocker arm assembly. 4. After assembly the rocker arm, adjustment of valve clearance. Intake valve clearance is 0.2 to 0.3 mm. Exhaust valve clearance is 0.25 to 0.35 mm. After adjustment, turn the crankshaft 2 laps. Check the clearance of the valve. Confirm it fit the requirements. The method of adjustment: valve clearance. Adjust the crankshaft to the first cylinder. TDC of compressed stroke. Insert the gauge between the valve and the valve rocker arm. Check and adjust the valve clearance. In this time, it can adjust the first cylinder intake valve and exhaust valve, second cylinder intake valve, third cylinder exhaust valve. Turn the crankshaft 1 lap, and then adjust the left valve clearance. 5. Install cylinder cover, intake pipe, starter motor, alternator and other parts.